You may think this is the familiar face of the Ford Figo, the latest generation in South Africa. There's a couple of little clues. You see there's a bit of a skid plate under the front here. You come around the side, you'll notice very nice 15-inch mag wheels over there, but some extra body cladding over the wheel arches, under the doors, some stripes. But there's something else you may just notice if you're really into your cars, is a little bit more ground clearance. 16 millimeters to be exact, from 180 up to 196 on this car. Then you'll notice a slightly higher stance. Roof racks. These are subtle little differences, and I'll explain in a couple of seconds. You come round to a very deep boot area, high loading lip, just keep that in mind, with a very thick, heavy extra mat in the back over here as well, spare wheel underneath. All sounds very standard, doesn't it? But it's not quite the Figo you know, because read that. It's the Freestyle. During lockdowns, Ford South Africa sneaked this onto the market. It's the crossover version of the Figo. As I showed you, slightly higher, slightly raised all round, extra ride height, little skid plate effect at the rear as well, and notice rear park distance control. Welcome to the Figo Freestyle. The advantage of crossover vehicles and the slightly raised ride height is, of course, dirt roads. And you can see we're doing just on 60 k's an hour down a pretty decent dirt road. There's nothing wrong with it. And the point of the Figo Freestyle is the fact that the ride height is raised by about 16 millimeters over the standard Figo. So you're on about 196 mils of ground clearance. And it certainly creates confidence and pretty easy driving on this dirt road. I must say, I'm pretty impressed. It's really handling it very, very nicely. So there you go. That's why you buy the crossover version as opposed to the standard hatchback. Well, I mentioned that it was launched during lockdown, and Ford brought in two versions, Trend and Titanium, in their normal manner, both powered by the familiar 3-cylinder 1.5-litre engine, giving you 91 kilowatts and 150 newton meters of torque. Not bad, no turbo. But check that out. We've done 500 odd kilometers on this test, both freeway and a lot of town driving, and come out with an average of 6.3 litres per 100. I'm impressed. Really am. 130k still in the tank as well. You do get a limited multifunction steering wheel, so you've got your sound system, etc. over there, and answering your phone. Because remember, at coming across to the touch screen over here, you do have, of course, Ford's full Sync 3 functionality. So it gives you everything you want on the screen over there, which is, of course, very, very useful. And Sync 3, of course, with phones, with mobile apps, works really well. Another feature that does have is your reverse camera. Thank you very much, Ford, for that one. Do appreciate it. And I mentioned reverse gear. Of course, you got a 5-speed manual gearbox. Again, standard in both versions. Decent climate controlled air conditioning over there. And look at that, very neat 2 USBs right there in front of the driver. I mentioned the screen down to this, all very standard Ford. You look at the fascia, yeah, it's plastic, of course it's plastic. But a big difference between Trend and Titanium spec, besides the functionality on the screen, besides mag wheels instead of plastic wheels, is you go to 6 airbags. Trend spec only gives you 2. You've got electric windows all around, got lots of space in the rear as well. Look at that. Again, Figo size, in fact, Figo size with a touch more headroom, I think is the way I describe it. So nice and useful. Nice cloth seats with sort of striping on them. Neat effect. You don't get Isofix, so just keep that in mind. But really up to you. Overall, well, it's Figo, but it's not Figo. That's what I think one needs to keep in mind and remember over here. We took it on a dirt road. You'll see a little bit of dirt road film on it, and yeah, nice. The extra ground clearance certainly made a difference as far as I'm concerned when we hit that dirt road, just to give you that extra little bit, extra stability, things like that that really do, again, to me, make a very big difference, depending on, of course, your usage, where you're going to drive the car, and your lifestyle. That's what always counts more than anything else with every single test car that we ever drive. It comes, of course, with Ford's standard 4-year, 60,000 kilometer service plan. You get that on both models as well. So, again, you got to just decide. Push button to start and stop, push button on the remote to unlock the car. These are titanium spec items that you obviously will not get on the lower model. What is the price, of course? That's what it all comes down to. And considering this is a crossover, it really is a crossover in the true sense of the word. Well, as we're in this one right now, 255,000 Rand. In today's market, highly, seriously competitive. You can, I mentioned, the trend version comes in at 223, and I've given you a few of the differences between the two. There'll be a couple of others as well along the way. You'd get manual air conditioning, not climate control, etc. Airbags I've set you as well. You know Ford, you know the Figo, we know it's proven itself in the South African market. Now you just get a Figo with a little bit more, especially in ride height, in go anywhere ability, or more go anywhere ability. And as Ford put it, Figo your way. Lots of competitors, interesting market, but if you like the Figo in the first place, this makes a compelling argument for itself for a little bit extra. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor, and I'll see you next time.